संसारदावानललीललोका त्रणाय कारुण्यगणगणात्वम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याणगुणर्णवस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
महाप्रभु कीर्तननृत्यगीता वादित्रमाद्यन्मनसुरसेना रोमाञ्चकम्पा श्रुतरङ्गबाजो वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
रोमाञ्चकम्पा श्रुतरङ्गबाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्
श्रीविग्रहाराधननित्यनाना शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमर्जनादौ युक्तश्च भक्तांश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् चतुर्विधा श्रीभगवत्प्रसाद स्वदन्नतृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नाम् प्रतिक्षणस्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् निकुञ्जयोनो रतिकेलिसिद्ध्यै यायालिभिर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्षात् अतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैरुक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव साध्भिः किन्तु प्रभुर्यः प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि श्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe Jai Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Radhe Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Shnupada Paramahamsa Pradaka Acharya Shtota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Aparachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT BI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Shnupada Paramahamsa Pradaka Acharya Shtota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridasa Ki Jai. Premise Koko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Chaitra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samavirta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Praglad Lad Dayine. Hiranyakashi Vakshaha. Shilantanka Nakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hirdaye Narsimha. Narasimha Madim Saranam Prapate. Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakam Abhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Hare Nakam Abhuta Shringam Hiranyakashipu Tanubrenga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shavadita Narari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Narasimhade 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 Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pabo Mea Pilashi Radha Krishna Seva Pabo Mea Pilashi Yeto Mara Sharanalo Tara Vancha Purnaho Kripa Kodi Koro Tare Vrindavana Vasi
Moraya Pilas Vilas Kunje Diovasa Nayane Heli Bosada Yugala Ruparashi Eni Vedana Tharo Sakira Nugata Koro Sevatikara Diye Koro Nijadasi Dina Krishna Dasi Koi Namora Hoy Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sadayena Pasi Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sadayena Pasi Yani kani cha papani Brahmahatyadi kani cha Tani tani pranasyanti Pradakshina pade pade Yani kani cha papani brahmahatyadi kani cha Tani tani pranasyanti pradakshina pade pade Yani kani cha papani brahmahatyadi kani cha Tani tani pranasyanti pradakshina pade pade Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Piyaya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Piyaya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Piyaya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha. Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Oh Tulasi, beloved Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desire to present and service to Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has wished fulfilled. Bestow mercy upon him and make him a resident of Vrindavana. My desire also grant me residence in the precious grove of Shri Vrindavana Dham. Thus within my vision I shall always behold the beautiful paths of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of Karha Dancer the Virgin. Please give me the privileged devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in matter to chant holy name that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of the demigods, Lord Shiva or Brahma, to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature pursuant to Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna with the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glory of holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us for most humble obeisance unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as trees who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Pavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunamita Sadanam Sarvatamasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tavarkripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durdevami Disham Iha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Saishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishware Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Toyi Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Ham Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Duri Satisham Vichintaya Nayanam Galata Shrudaraya Vatanam Gat Gada Rudaya Gira Pulakaya nichitam vapurukata tava nama karhane bhavishati yuga itam nimishena chakshusha pravisha itam shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me ashrisha va padaratam pinnastu mam hadarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha bhavi tatha tu lampato matprana nathastu sa eva na paraha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life or repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction of human beings. Thus you have hundreds, millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have vested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names. But I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tall than the tree, devoid of all sense false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor to want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Mahajananda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name, while my voice choke up, on the hairs my body stand under recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation consider a moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charna Prayas ki jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Hyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Vitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachadya Desha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Darine Rupa Nuga Veruta Pasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sasha Vairagya Murtaye Vipalambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupa Nuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Niyadishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpa Turupyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurati Shin Namaha Panchatattvatamkam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karna Sindho Dinapanto Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Suratoro Pangor Mama Mandar Matergati Masarva Sapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindadana Kalpadumada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtari Bi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsi Vata Tatastitaha Karsham Venu Suner Gopir Gopinatha Shiyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalacharna Prayers Ki Jai Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasu Kalpaviksha Rakshariteshu Surabi Rabi Parayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevimanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Talayatакшam Parharvatam Samasitam Puta Sundarangam Gantarpagoti Gamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantaka Lasa Vanamare Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakiri Kalavilasam Shamanti Bangalaritam Nyata Prakasham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalinti Vritti Pashanti Panti Karayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimmaya Satujula Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durabam Madurabam Atma Bhakta Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pantastu Koti Shatavasara Sampragamyo Vayurathapi Manaso Munipangavanan Sopiasti Yapapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sorachayitum Jagatanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jagatanta Chayaya Tantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yasya Bhava Pavita Diyo Manujasta Teva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Bhushaha Suktayam Eva Nigama Patitai Stuvanti Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimma Rasa Patibhavitabis Tapeya Eva Jarupa Dayakalapihi Goloka Eva Nivasati Kilatama Bhutto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churutha Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hitayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalaniyamena Tishtan Nanavataram Karo Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Parama Pumam Yo Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in a boats built with spiritual gems surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swing a garland of flowers, beautified with a moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with fruit and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending forms of Shama Sundar is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure, unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusa. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by trailing the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and at the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radhika, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual ras.
I worship Govinda. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shamsundara, Krishna himself, with unconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion, tinged with the self of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Shrunvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrit satam nashtapraye swa abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobhadayaschaye chetayate ranavidam sitam satve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथेश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व समस्याः संशयाः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एव आत्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees. He becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished.
When these impurities are whipped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamyasam, asamsayam samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we will continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 4. नोत्तमश्लोके वर्तानां जुषतं तत्कर्म कथामृतं शत्सम्भ्रमोऽन्तकालेऽपि स्मरतं तत्पदाम्बुजम्. Never Uttama Sloka, the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing. Vartamanam, of those who live on them. Jusatam, of those who are engaged in. Tat, his. Katamritam, transcendental topics about him. Syat, it so happens. Sambramaha, misconception. Anta, at the end. Kale, in time. Api, also. Smaratam, remembering. Tat, his. Padambujam, lotus feet. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topic of the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconceptions even at the last moment of their lives. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The highest perfection of life is attained by remembering the transcendental nature of the Lord at the last moment of one's life. This perfection of life is made possible by one who has learned the actual transcendental nature of the Lord from the Vedic hymns sung by a liberated soul like Sukadeva Goswami or someone in that line of disciplic succession. There is no gain in hearing the Vedic hymns from some mental speculator. When the same is heard from an actual self-realized soul and is properly understood by service and submission, everything becomes transparently clear. Thus, a submissive disciple is able to live transcendentally and continue to the end of life. By scientific adaptation, one is able to remember the Lord even at the end of life, when the power of remembrance is slack due to derangement of bodily membranes. For a common man, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death. But by the grace of the Lord and his bona fide devotees, the spiritual masters, one can get this opportunity without difficulty. And it was done in the case of Maharaj Parikshit.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 5. Tavat kale na prabhavate pravastho piha sarvata yavad isi mahan urvayam abhimanyava ekatarat. Translation. Tavat, so long. Kali, the personality of Kali. Na, cannot. Prabhavat, flourish. Pravishta, entered in. Api, even though. Iha, here. Sarvata, everywhere. Yavat, as long as. Isa, the Lord. Mahan, great. Urvayam, powerful. Abhimanyavaha, the son of Abhimanyu. Ekarat, the one emperor. Translation. As long as the great powerful son of Abhimanyu remains the emperor of the world, there is no chance that the personality of Kali will flourish. Purport. As we have already explained, the personality of Kali had entered the jurisdiction of this earth long ago, and he was looking for an opportunity to spread his influence all over the world. But he could not do so satisfactorily due to the presence of Maharaj Parikshit. That is the way of good government.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text.
Just one. The disturbing elements like the personality of Kali will always try to extend their nefarious activities, but it is the duty of the able state to check them by all means. Although Maharaj Parikshit allotted places for the personality of Kali, at the same time he gave no chance for the citizens to be swayed by the personality of Kali.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 6. यस्मिन् अहानिय है एवा भगवान उस्सस जागम तदेवहनानुवृत्तो सावधर्म प्रभवः कलि. Yasmin, on that, ahani, very day, yahi eva, in the very moment, Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead, Ussasaza, left aside, come the earth, tada, at that time, eva, certainly, iha, in this word, anuvritaha, followed, aso, he, adharma, irreligion, prabhava, accelerating, Kali, the personality of God. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The very day and moment the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promotes all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The personality of Godhead and his holy name, qualities, etc. are all identical. The personality of Kali was not able to enter the jurisdiction of the earth due to the presence of the personality of Godhead. And similarly, if there is an arrangement for the constant chanting of the holy names, qualities, etc., of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no chance at all for the personality of Kali to enter. That is a technique of driving away the personality of Kali from the world. In modernized human society, there are great advancements of material science, and they have invented the radio to distribute sound in the air. So instead of vibrating some nuisance sound for sense enjoyment, if the state arranges to distribute transcendental sound by resounding the holy name, fame, and activities of the Lord as they are authorized in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, then a favorable condition will be created. The principles of religion in the world will be re-established, and thus the executive heads, who are so anxious to drive away corruption from the world, will be successful. Nothing is bad if properly used for the service of the Lord.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 7. Nanudvesti kalim samrat saranga eva sarabhuk kusalani ashusidhyanti netarani kritani yat. Na, never, anudvesti, envious, kalim, unto the personality of Kali, Samrat, the emperor, Saram Go, realist like the beast, Eva like Sarabhuk, one who accepts a substance, Kushalani, auspicious objects, Asu, immediately, Siddhyanti, become successful, Na, never, Itarani, which are inauspicious, Kritani, being performed, Yat, as much as. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Maharaja Parikshit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in an awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given some special facilities to them. So, by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. In other ages, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become a victim of the act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the result of pious acts simply by thinking of them. Maharaja Parikshit, being the most learned and experienced king by the grace of the Lord, was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali, because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. He protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali, and at the same time he gave full facility to the age of Kali by allotting him some particular places. At the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that even though all nefarious activities of the personality of Kali are present, there is great advantage in the age of Kali. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. The Maharaja Parikshit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the whole Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizens from the clutches of Kali. It is for this advantage only that great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In the Vedas also it is said that by discourse on Lord Krishna's activities, one can get rid of all the disadvantages of the Kali. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said that by the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested uh, within one's heart. There are some of the great advantages of the Kali, and Maharaja Parikshit took all the advantages and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 18, Text 8. Kim nu bale surena kalina dhira biradanu apramata pramatse yovarko narsu vartate. Kim, Kim, what? Nu, maybe. Balesu, among the less intelligent persons. Surena, by the powerful. Kalina, by the personality of Kali. Dhira, self-controlled. Bhiruna, by one who is afraid of. Apramata, one who is careful. Pramatsu, among the careless. Ya, one who. Vrika, tiger. Nusu, among men. Vartate, exist. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaj Parikshit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those who are not devotees of the Lord are careless and unintelligent. Unless one is thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. It will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in society unless we are prepared to accept the modes of action adopted by Maharaj Parikshit, that is, propagation of the devotional service of the Lord to the common man.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 9. उपवर्तमेतथा पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोपेतमाख्यानं यद् प्रक्षत. Synonyms. Upavarnitam, almost everything described. Etata, all these. Vaha, unto you. Punyam, payas. Parikshit, about Maharaj Parikshit. Maya, by me. Vasudev, of Lord Krishna. Katha, narrations. Upitam, in connection with. Akhyanam, statements. Yet, what. Aprachata, you asked from me. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Parikshit. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of the activities of the Lord, and the activities of the Lord are performed in relation with the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, the history of the devotees is not different from the history of Lord Krishna's activities. A devotee of the Lord regards both the activities of the Lord and those of his pure devotees on an equal level, for they are all transcendental.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 10. Ya ya kata bhagavataha katani yoru karmanaha gunakarmasraya pumbihi samsevyasta bubusubhihi. Ya, whatever, ya, and whatsoever. Katha, topics. Bhagavata, and about the personality of Godhead. Kathaniya, what to be spoken by me. Uru karmanaha, of him he who acts wonderfully. Guna, transcendental qualities. Karma, uncommon deeds. Ashrayaha, involving. Pumbihi, by persons. Samsayevyaha, ought to be heard. Tha, all of them. Bubu Subhihi, by those who want their own welfare. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and qualities of the personality of Godhead, who acts wonderfully. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The systematic hearing of the transcendental activities, qualities, and names of Lord Sri Krishna pushes one towards eternal life. Systematic hearing means knowing Him gradually in truth and fact, and this knowing Him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such transcendental glorified activities of Lord Sri Krishna are the prescribed remedy for counteracting the process of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are considered to be material awards for the conditioned living being. The culmination of such a perfectional stage of life is the goal of human life and the attainment of transcendental bliss.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 18, Text 11. Sut Jeev Sama Saumya Shashvati Svirdam Yasham Yasaswam Sasansi Krishnasya Martana Namamratam Hina. Word by word translation. Word by word meaning. Rasya Ucho, the good sages, said, Sutta, O Sut Goswami, Jiva, we wish you life for, Sama, many years, Saumya, grave, Sasatvita, eternal, Vishadam, particularly, Yasha, in fame, Yatvam, because you, Samsasi, speaking nicely, Krishnasya, of Lord Krishna, Martanam, of those who die, Amratam, eternity of life, He, certainly, Na, our. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The good sages said, O grave Sut Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame, for you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When we hear about the transcendental qualities and activities of the personality of Godhead, we may always remember what has been spoken by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. His acts, even when He acts in human society, are all transcendental, for they are accentuated by the spiritual energy of the Lord, which is distinguished from His material energy. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such acts are called Divyam. This means he does not act or take his birth like an ordinary living being under the custody of material energy. Nor is his body material or changeable like that of ordinary living beings. And one who understands this fact either from the Lord or from authorized sources is not reborn after leaving the present material body. Such an enlightened soul is admitted into the spiritual realm of the Lord and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, the more we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord, as they are stated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we can know about His transcendental nature and thus make definite progress on the path back to Godhead.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 12. कर्मण्यस्मिन् स्वस्य धूर्मात्मनां भवान् आपाययति गोविन्द पादपद्मा स्वं मधु. Synonyms: Karmani, performance of, asmin, in this, anaswase, without certainty, dhuma, smoke, dhumra, atmanam, things with body and mind, bhavan, your good self, bhavan. Apayati, very much pleasing. Govinda, the personality of Godhead. Pada, feet. Padma, aswam, nectar of the lotus flower. Madhu, honey. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We have just begun the performance of this fruity activity, a sacrificial fire without certainty of its result due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are distributing. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Namisana was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert Brahmins able to carry out such performances successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain, like agriculture enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depends on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy Brahmins of the age of Kali induce the innocent public in such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the scriptural injection that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance but the sacrifice of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So the Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. The sages of Naimisarana were practically sufferers from the smoke of a sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from a realized person like Asuta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma and Vaivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations, but when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 13. Tulayama lavinapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utsasishaha. Tulayama, to be balanced with, lavena, by a moment, api, even, na, never, swargam, heavenly planets, na, nor, apunaha bhavam, liberation from matter, bhagavat sangi, devotee of the Lord, sangasya, of the association, martyanam, those who are meant for death, kim, what is there, uta, to speak of, ashishaha, worldly benediction, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from the matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are of for those who are meant for both. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of a pure devotee to anything material. Men who are addicted to material happiness aspire to reach the heavenly planets like the moon, Venus, and Indraloka. And those who are advanced in material philosophical speculations aspire after liberation from all material bondage. When one becomes frustrated with all kinds of material advancement, one desires the opposite type of liberation, which is called punar bhava, or no rebirth. But the pure devotees of the Lord who do not aspire after the happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom, nor do they aspire after liberation from material bondage. In other words, for the pure devotees of the Lord, the material pleasures obtainable in the heavenly planets are like phantasmagoria, and because they are already liberated from all material conceptions of pleasure and distress, they are factually liberated even in the material world. This means that the pure devotees of the Lord are engaged in a transcendental existence, namely in the loving service of the Lord, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. As a government servant, it is always the same either in the office or at home or at any place, so a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for he is exclusively engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with anything material, what pleasure can he derive from material benedictions like kingship or other overlordships, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? Devotional service is eternal, it has no end because it is spiritual. Therefore, since the assets of a pure devotee are completely different from material assets, there is no comparison between the two. Suta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his association with the Rishis in Naimisharanya is unique. In the material world, association with the gross materialists invariably condemned. The materialist is called Yoshitsangi, or one who is much attached to material entanglement, women and other paraphernalia. Such attachment is conditioned because it drives away the benedictions of life and prosperity. He endures the opposite with Bhagavata Sangi, or one who is always in the association of the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. Such association is always desirable, it is worshipable, it is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 18, Text 14. Konam trapyad rasavit kathayam mahatvam am kanta paranyasya nantam nantam gunanam gunasya jagmur yogasya vara ye bhav padma mukhya ka who is he? Nam specifically. Tripyat, get full satisfaction. Rasavit, expert in relishing mellow nectar. Kathayam, in the topics of. Mahattama, the greatest amongst the living beings. Ekant, exclusively. Parayanasya, of one who is the shelter of. Na, never. Antam, end. Gunanam, of attribute. Agunasya, of the transcendence. Jagmu, could ascertain. Yog Ishvara, the lords of mystic power. Ye, all they. Bhava, Lord Shiva. Padma, Lord Brahma. Mukhya, heads. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of Godhead Lord Krishna Govinda is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him? Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are two chiefs of the demigods. They are full of mystic powers. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison of which one drop was sufficient to kill an ordinary living being. Similarly, Brahma could create many powerful demigods, including Lord Shiva. So they are Ishwaras, or lords of the universe. But they are not the supreme powerful. The supreme powerful is Govinda, Lord Krishna. He is the transcendence, and his transcendental attributes cannot be measured even by such powerful Ishwaras as Shiva and Brahma. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the exclusive shelter of the greatest of all living beings. Brahma is counted amongst the living beings, but he is the greatest of all of us. And why is the greatest of all the living beings so much attached to the transcendental topics of Lord Krishna? Because he is the reservoir of all enjoyment. Everyone wants to relish some kind of taste in everything, but one who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can derive unlimited pleasure from such engagement. The Lord is unlimited, and his name, attributes, pastimes, entourage, variegatedness, etc., are unlimited, and those who relish them can do so unlimitedly and still not feel satiated. This fact is confirmed in the Padma Purana. Ramante yogino nante satyananda chit atmani iti ram padennasu param brahma bhidaye yate. The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama. There is no end to such transcendental discourses. In mundane affairs, there is the law of satiation, but in transcendence, there is no such satiation. Sud Goswami desired to continue the topics of Lord Krishna before the sages of Naimisharanya, and the sages also expressed their readiness to hear from him continuously. Since the Lord is transcendence and his attributes are transcendental, such discourses increase the receptive mood of the purified audience.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 15. Tanno bhavan vai bhagavat pradhano mahatamaikanta parayanasya harer udaram charitam vishuddham susrusatam no vitanotu vidvan. Synonyms: tat, therefore, naha, of us, bhavan, your good self, vai, certainly, bhagavat, in relation with the personality of Godhead, pradhana, chiefly, mahatma, the greatest of all greats, ekanta, exclusively, parayanasya, of the shelter, hare, of the Lord, udharam, impartial, charitam, activities, visuddham, transcendental, susrusatam, those who are receptive, naha, ourselves, vitanotu, kindly describe, vidvan, O learned one. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Suta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord, because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord which are above all material consumption. For we are anxious to receive such messages. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The speaker on the transcendental activities of the Lord should have only one object of worship and service: Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. Professional speakers and a materially absorbed audience cannot derive real benefit from such discourses. Professional speakers make a show of Bhagavad Saptaha for the sake of family maintenance, and the materially disposed audience hears such discourses of Bhagavad Saptaha for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. Such Bhagavatam discourses are not purified from the contamination of the material qualities, but the discourses between the saints of Naimisaranya and Sri Sita Goswami are on the transcendental level. There is no motive of material gain. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished both by the audience and by the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. Now Bhagavata Saptahas are held for 7 days only, and after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker became engaged in material activities as usual. They can do so because the speaker is not Bhagavat Pradhana and the audience is not Susrusatam as explained above.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 16. Save Mahabhagavataha Parikshid येन पवर्गाख्यमदभ्रबुद्धि ज्ञानेन व्यासकिशब्दितेन भेजे खगेन्द्रध्वज पादमूलम. Synonyms: Sah, he, Vai, certainly, Mahabhagavata, first class devotee, Parikshit, the king, Yena, by which, Apavagakhyam, by the name of liberation, Adabhra, fixed, Buddhi, intelligence, Kya, Anena, by knowledge, Vyasaki, the son of Vyasa, Sabditena, vibrated by, Bheje, taken to, Khaga Indra, Garuna, the king of the birds, Dhwaja, flag, Padamulam, soles of the feet. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Suta Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garud, the king of birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyas, Srila Sukhadev. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is some controversy amongst the students on the path of liberation. Such transcendental students are known as impersonalists and devotees of the Lord. The devotee of the Lord worships the transcendental form of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist meditates upon the glaring effulgence or the bodily rays of the Lord, known as the Brahma Jyoti. Here in this verse, it is said that Maharaja Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord by instructions and knowledge delivered by the son of Vyasdeva, Srila Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami was also an impersonalist in the beginning, as he himself has admitted in the Bhagavatam 2.1.9. But later on he was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and thus became a devotee. Such devotees with perfect knowledge are called Mahabhagavatas, or first class devotees. There are three classes of devotees, namely the Prakarta, Madhyama, and Mahabhagavata. The Prakrita or third class devotees are temple worshippers without specific knowledge of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. The Madhyama or the second class devotee knows well the Lord's devotees, the neophytes and the non devotees also. But the Mahabhagavat or the first class devotee sees everything in relation with the Lord and the Lord present in everyone's relation. The Mahabhagavata therefore doesn't make any distinction particularly between a devotee and non-devotee. Maharaja Parikshit was such a Mahabhagavat devotee because he was initiated by a Mahabhagavat devotee, Sukdev Goswami. He was equally kind even to the personality of Kali and what to speak of others. So there are many instances in the transcendental histories of the world of an impersonalist who has later become a devotee. But a devotee has never become an impersonalist. This very fact proves that on the transcendental steps, the step occupied by a devotee is higher than the step occupied by an impersonalist. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that persons stuck on the impersonal step undergo more sufferings than achievement of reality. Therefore, knowledge imparted by Sukdev Goswami unto Maharaj Parikshit helped him attain the service of the Lord. And this stage of perfection is called apavarga or the perfect stage of liberation. Simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge. Actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation, but attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of liberation. Such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained Bhagavatam 1.2.12, and perfect knowledge as delivered by Srila Sukadeva Goswami results in the attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 17. Tanna param punyam asamvrittartham akhyanam atyabhuta yoganishtam akhyahi anantacharito papannam parikshitam bhagavattabhiramam. Tat therefore na unto us param supreme punyam purifying asamvrita artham as it is akhyanam narration ati very adbhuta wonderful yoganishtam compact in bhagavati bhakti yoga akhyani describe ananta the unlimited acharita activities upamanam full of parikshitam spoken to Maharaj Parikshit Bhagavata of the pure devotees Abhiramam particularly very dear. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaja Parikshit and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of Bhakti Yoga. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What was spoken to Maharaj Parikshit and what is very dear to the pure devotees is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is mainly full of the narrations of the activities of the Supreme Unlimited, and therefore it is the science of Bhakti Yoga or the devotional service to of the Lord. Thus it is para or supreme, because although it is enriched with all knowledge and religion, it is specifically enriched with the devotional service of the Lord.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 18, Text 18. Aho vayam janma bhrato dehasma vraddadanurvatam tayapi viloma jata doskalam adhim vidhunoti sigram mahattam anam abhidhana yoga Sutta Uvacha. Sut Goswami said, Aho, how, Vayam we, Janbratha promoted in birth, Adya today, Ha clearly, Asma have become, Vridd Anuvritya by serving those who are advanced in knowledge. Api, although, Vilomjata, born in a mixed caste. Dosa, Doskulyam, disqualification of birth. Adhim, sufferings. Vidunoti, purifies. Sigram, very soon. Mahattamanam, of those who are great. Abhidhana, conversation. Yoga, connection. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Sud Goswami said, O God, although we are born in a mixed caste, we are still promoted in birthright simply by serving and following the great who are advanced in knowledge. Even by conversing with such great souls, one can without delay cleanse oneself of all disqualifications resulting from lower birth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sud Goswami did not take his birth in a Brahmana family. He was born in a family of mixed caste or an uncultured low family. But because of higher association like Sri Sukdev Goswami and the great rishis of Naimisharanya, certainly the disqualification of inferior birth was washed off. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followed this principle in pursuance of the Vedic usages, and by his transcendental association, he elevated many low-born or those disqualified by birth or action to the status of devotional service and established them in the position of acharyas or authorities. He clearly stated that any man, whatever he may be, whether a Brahmana or Shudra by birth, or a householder or mendicant in the order of society, if he is conversant with the science of Krishna, he can be accepted as an acharya or guru or spiritual master. Sud Goswami learned the science of Krishna from the great rishis and authorities like Shukdev and Vyasdev, and he was so qualified that even the sages of Naimisharanya eagerly wanted to hear from him the science of Krishna in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he had the double association of great souls by hearing and preaching. Transcendental science or the science of Krishna has to be learned from the authorities, and when one preaches the science, he becomes still more qualified. So Sud Goswami had both the advantages, and thus undoubtedly he was completely freed from all disqualifications of low birth and mental agonies. This verse definitely proves that Srila Sukdev Goswami did not refuse to Sud Goswami about the transcendental, did not refuse to teach Sud Goswami about the transcendental science, nor did the sages of Naimisharanya refuse to hear lessons from him because of his inferior birth. This means that thousands of years ago, there was no bar to learning or preaching the transcendental science because of inferior birth. The rigidity of the so-called caste system in Hindu society became prominent within only 100 years or so, when the number of Dvijbandhus or disqualified men in the families of higher caste increased. Lord Sri Chaitanya revived the original Vedic system, and he elevated Thakur Haridas to the position of Namacharya, or the authority in preaching the glories of the holy name of the Lord. Although His Holiness Srila Haridas Thakur was pleased to appear in a family of Mohammedans. Such is the power of pure devotees of the Lord. The Ganges water is accepted as pure, and one can become purified after taking a bath in the water of the Ganga. But as far as the great devotees of the Lord are concerned, they can purify a degraded soul even by being seen by the lowborn, and what to speak of association. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to purify the whole atmosphere of the polluted world by sending qualified preachers all over the world. And it remains with the Indians to take up this task scientifically and thus do the best kind of humanitarian work. The mental diseases of the present generation are more acute than bodily diseases. It is quite fit and proper to take up the preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world without delay. Mahattanamam Abhidhana also means dictionary of great devotees, or a book full of the words of great devotees. Such a dictionary of the words of great devotees and those of the Lord are in the Vedas and allied literatures, specifically the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 19. कुतः पुनगतो नाम तस्य महत्तमैकान्तपरायणस्य योऽनन्तशक्ति भगवानन्तो महद्गुणत्वायमनन्तमाहो. Synonyms. Kuta, what to say? Punah, again. Granta, one who chants Nama, holy name. Tasya, his. Mahatama, great devotees. Ekanta, exclusive. Parayanasya, of one who takes shelter of. Yah, he who. Ananta is the unlimited. Shakti, potency. Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead. Ananta, immeasurable. Mahata, great. Gunatvata, on account of such attributes. Yam, whom. Ananta, by the name Ananta. Ahu is called. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And what to speak of those who are under the direction of the great devotees, chanting the holy name of the unlimited, one who has unlimited potency, the personality of Godhead, unlimited in potency and transcendental by attributes, is called Ananta, unlimited. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Dvigja Bandhu, or the less intelligent, uncultured men born of higher castes but forward many arguments against the lower caste men becoming Brahmins in this life. They argue that birth in a family of Sudras or less than Sudras is made possible by one's previous sinful acts and that one therefore has to complete the terms of disadvantages due to lower birth. And to answer these false logicians, Srimad Bhagavatam asserts that one who chants the holy name of the Lord under the direction of a pure devotee can at once get free from the disadvantages due to a lower caste birth. A pure devotee of the Lord does not commit any offense while chanting the holy name of the Lord. There are 10 different offenses in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. To chant the holy name under the direction of a pure devotee is offenseless chanting. Offenseless chanting of the holy name of the Lord is transcendental, and therefore such chanting can at once purify one from the effects of all kinds of previous sins. This offenseless chanting indicates that one has fully understood the transcendental nature of the holy name and has thus surrendered unto the Lord. Transcendentally, the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself are identical, being absolute. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord. The Lord is the all powerful personality of Godhead, and He has innumerable names which are all non different from Him and are equally powerful also. In the last word of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord asserts that one who surrenders fully unto Him is protected from all sins by the grace of the Lord. Since His name and His Himself are identical, the holy name of the Lord can protect the devotee from all effects of sins. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord can undoubtedly deliver one from the disadvantages of a lower caste birth. The Lord's unlimited power is extended on and on by the unlimited expansion of the devotees and incarnations, and thus every devotee of the Lord and incarnations also can be equally surcharged with the potency of the Lord. Since the devotee is surcharged with the potency of the Lord, even fractionally, and disqualification due to lower birth cannot stand in the way.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 20. Etavatalam nanusuchitena gunair asamsyanita syanasya hitvetaran prararthoyato vibhutir yashangri renum jusate nabhisho. Synonyms. Etavata, so far, alam, unnecessary, nanu, if at all, suchitena, by description, gunai, by attribute, asamya, immeasurable, anati sayanasya, of one who is unexcelled, hitva, leaving aside, itaran, others, prarthayatha, yatha, of those who ask for vibhuti, favor of the goddess of fortune, yasha, one whose Angri, feet, Renum, the dust, Jusate serves, Anabipsho of one who is unwilling. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is now ascertained that He, the personality of Godhead, is unlimited and there is none equal to Him. Consequently, no one can speak of Him adequately. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of the goddess of fortune even by prayers. But this very goddess renders service unto the Lord, although He is unwilling to have such service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of Godhead or the Parameshwara Parabrahma, according to the Shrutis, has nothing to do. He has no equal, nor does anyone excel him. He has unlimited potencies, and his every action is carried out systematically by in his natural and perfect ways. Thus, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full of himself, and he has nothing to accept from anyone else, including the great demigods like Brahma. Others ask for the favor of the goddess of fortune, and despite such prayers, she declines to award such favors. But still, she renders service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he has nothing to accept from her. The Personality of Godhead in his Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu featured begets Brahma, the first created person in the material world, from his navel lotus stem, and not in the womb of the goddess of fortune, who is eternally engaged in his service. There are some of the instances of his complete independence and perfection. That he has nothing to do does not mean that he is impersonal. He is transcendentally so full of inconceivable potencies that simply by his willing everything is done without physical or personal endeavor. He is called therefore Yogeshwara, or the Lord of all mystic powers. Okay, we'll continue reading tomorrow. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandhu Mui Savadana Mate Jara Prasade Mai E Bhavatori Yajay Krishna Prapti Hoye Jaha Hoye Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Jite Te Koriya Kya और ना कोरी हो मने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रत चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जी जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जाते वेदे गाय जहरा चरितो गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनरा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनरा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छया हे बेजार को शुक्ति भुवाना शीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावाना जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नित्य नामिने नाम नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prem emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Lokanath Goswami, O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.